What's up again, everybody? Today we're gonna open 2 packs of cards. That's it. That's all we're doing. We're opening 2 packs of cards. They're both welcome to Rathe packs. So like, if you thought we were gonna have some crazy video, you're probably not. I mean, it's not gonna be that crazy, but it is gonna be fascinating. I am absolutely, utterly fascinated by this. Perhaps I don't need to be, but to me, this is really, really interesting stuff, and so I figured I'd make a video about it. Maybe you think so as well. If you don't, that's okay, but I hope you'll watch it anyway. Maybe I could just put it on in the background, I don't know. So these 2 packs are unique in and of themselves, okay? So this one and this one are both welcome to Rathe. They're both going to contain cards from that set, but they were both printed in different spots, in different parts of the world, at different printers. They're both printed by Cartamundi, but they're both printed in different places. I said both too many times in that sentence, but I'm not editing that out. Forget it, I'm just doing it live. This one was printed in Belgium, and in fact, Belgium is the birthplace of fab printing. It's where the Cartamundi, I think it's like the first Cartamundi printing company. I think that's like literally their location is Belgium, and this was printed there. And in fact, all prior correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong on this, but I'm pretty sure all prior printing of Flesh and Blood was done at Cartamundi in Belgium. You know this is from Belgium because if I make the focus nice and pretty so that you can see, and then I pop this little sleeve right here, you can see made in Belgium. There it is, made in Belgium. So this was printed in Belgium, packaged in Belgium. This one, however, is new. This was packaged and printed in Japan. Cartamundi Japan. When you turn this one over, you actually don't even need to flip up the thing. You can see made in Japan right there. So functionally, they are the same set. They're the same cards, perhaps within the set. Probably not in the same pack. That'd be amazing if we got 2 dupe packs. That'd be crazy. This video would get way more interesting. But they are completely differently printed and packaged, and that's what I want to talk about because I think this is really, really interesting, and it makes me ask some questions, and I'll ask you the questions as we go. But first of all, what's the difference between the packaging? First of all, you can definitely see the coloring is, just straight up different. Look at the words "Welcome to Rathe" on this one. They are very yellowish orange. Kind of have that like tan color down, whereas this one it's almost like they injected pink into it as well. Darker overall browns, very rich looking in my opinion, while this one is a little bit brighter looking. You can see a little bit more of the detailing in that sort of embellished background compared to this one. As far as the packaging is concerned, it is also very different. So comparing these packages, you can see this one has the little pull tab that goes to the left, which I find really interesting, and this is the one that we've always done, but this is the one they flipped. It's a pull tab that goes to the right. I can't even lift it. It's a smaller pull tab as well, as you can see, and the crimping overall is very, very Japanese. Like, that is some seriously cool looking crimping. The trail off is a lot shorter compared to the trail off that we have here. This is that kind of standard TCG thing that you may have seen and experienced in booster pack, like stamping and sealing before. This is, it feels way different. It feels, I mean, if you've ever opened like a Japanese TCG, it feels kind of like that, right? It also reminds me of, let me see if I have one. This is a booster pack of Genesis Battle of Champions. This was printed, is manufactured in Canada. There's some similarities here as well, which I find very interesting. The pull tab here is larger, but the shorter top reminds me a lot of this print run here on Flesh and Blood that they have here. So these are the differences between the packaging there. If I had to pick, I actually very much like this. I prefer this feeling of packaging. This feels like, I don't know, glossier, richer. This one feels kind of, I guess, more normal. Maybe it's because I've opened far more of these types of packs. Maybe this is just, I don't know, novel right now. But let's go ahead and open, and then we're going to compare the cards as well. Because if you understand, by the way, this opens like that, right? If you understand what cards look like from different print runs and how cards work from different print runs, then you can answer the question that I want to ask here in a minute, and that, or maybe you can't answer it, but you have some ideas. I'm not going to worry about pack tricks. We're just going to take a look at the cards themselves. Dorinthia looking cool. Anothos on the back, just chilling. Let's flip through. By the way, I gotta stop. This pack that we're gonna open was donated by the ever fabulous and wonderful gentleman known as Jim from Fab TCG Cards. Go support him in the comments below. Check out his singles website. It's not for dating, but you could probably ask him for that. You should actually ask him for that. We got the Yellow Razor Reflex, the Regurgitating Slog, Red Nimblism, Snapdragon Scalers. By the way, I bought this pack at a local game store, so if there's something spicy in it, I get to keep it. Barraging, Sigil of Solace, and a blue Steel Blade Shunt Rainbow Foil. We're going to set this one down there, and we'll keep going. I know that's like the spice of the pack, but we're going to keep going anyway. We have the Awakening Bellow, and I just want you to take in the print run, the quality, the coloring itself. Take a look at that. For me, this all feels normal. It looks normal. It comes across, you know, what I've seen before. What we're about to look at is the print run quality and the just the coloring and that sort of thing from a Japanese printed pack, and I'm very curious to compare. I'm hoping that we get some duplicates so we can set them up next to each other. First off, because this one opens to the side, some people say it's like a left-handed opening. I'm left-handed, and this feels real awkward. Some people also said like it almost feels like a pull tab. I don't believe it. I'm so used to opening packs the other way that my brain is just like, I don't get it. I really don't get this. Okay, wait, I'm just gonna pretend like it's the other way. No, okay, yeah, oh, then this is what they were talking about. The way that it pulls straight down like that almost looks like a pull tab in that sense. Now, if you do that, you then pop the sides so that you don't nick a corner. That's an important thing, and then you can just slide it out. So there we have the packaging on that one. Cool. Let's look at cards from here. By the way, these are from Jim. Oh, look, we did get a nimble. Oh no, we got a nimblism. Okay. Jim was like, "Hey, if there's something spicy in that, can you send that back so that I can put it on the site?" And I was like, "Sure, of course." Oh yeah, good. Okay, so I'm gonna set this one aside. Breaking Scales, which is kind of cool. Hey, look, we got a barraging. We can compare that one too. Hey Jim, we got a Crazy Brew. Do you want that, man? Crazy Brew. There's a foil Flusterfist. I'm going to stack it on the foiling there. And we do have a Whelming Gust Wave. We can compare the Emerging Power, Sharpened Steel, Smash Instinct, Open Center, Crush Confidence, Iron Song, and that was just the token that we can set aside. So this is what I was interested in. This is what I was hoping for. We do have several duplicates. So I'm going to pull this Nimblism and compare. So on the left, you have the Nimblism that we're all used to, and on the right, you have the Nimblism printed by the Japanese printer. And honestly, these two cards look, I mean, nearly identical in print quality. Maybe I'm going to lean in. I'm going to lean close. I'm going to get close. Yeah, these two look functionally identical, which is kind of cool. I was expecting more of a difference for these two. Let's see if I hold them at a different angle. I don't know. No, these look virtually identical. So I'm going to separate them back out. But I bet, you know what? Let's have some fun. Let's play a game, everyone. I'm going to mix them up under the table. Can you tell from the backs? That's the question. I mean, this one looks brighter and this one looks darker, kind of like the packs. This is the Japanese one. This is the Belgium one. Let's do this. I'm going to go onto the table and I'm just going to start mixing. You want to play the game? Put left or right. I know this is like not something you could do like live, so you could technically cheat. You could put the answer and then you could look really smart in a comment below. Here we go. One of these is Belgium. One of them is Japan. Do you think Belgium is left or do you think Belgium is right? Is this one Belgium or is this one Belgium? That's your thing. Put left or right. Which one is Belgium? Are you ready to find out? I don't know. Let's flip them. If I had to guess, I'd say this one's Japan, but I don't know. Let's find out. Oh, dang it, I was wrong. This one is Belgium because of the lighter edge, the lighter side. That's interesting. I can't tell by the coloring on the front of the card, which is kind of cool. That one goes there, this one goes here. Let's do the same thing a few more times because I've seen people take pictures and they're like, look at the difference, and you can literally tell the difference by just like the coloring and the inking. So again, this is Belgium, this is Japan. Maybe I need better lighting. Do I just straight up need better lighting? Because this looks identical to me. I'm surprised. I was very curious to see if we saw some similarities from other people, but yeah. Wow, even the backs look very similar on this one. That is very interesting. That is very, very interesting indeed. Wow. So the print run, and perhaps it's just I got lucky, or maybe some people have gotten, you know, packs that are different, or just misprinted perhaps. Look, we got a sharpened steel and a sharpened steel from Japan. This is Belgium on the left and sharpened steel from Japan. So this is what's interesting to me. I can't actually see the difference on this one either. You know what? No, I can. If I really look, this one in her face does look darker. This one I can tell the difference to a certain degree. But I would not know, functionally I would not know. If you just handed me this card, I would not likely be able to tell you that it was from Japan unless I compared it to another one. And then the only other reason would be that I know that this print run generally looks a little lighter and this one looks a little deeper in the blacks. Like even just the bordering, black on black, they look really, really similar. This is surprising to me. I expected it to be a little bit more stark, but it's not, and that's why I'm happy that I made the video. Last one, emerging and emerging. People say, by the way, that Emerging Power, the character on Emerging Power, looks like Kobe Bryant, and I can totally see that. By the way, I just absolutely totally see that. That does look like Kobe Bryant, which is awesome, by the way, which is totally cool. Nevertheless, in this one, yeah, for me, looking in person, no, I can't really tell the difference. It's interesting because when you see the pack, you can tell the difference. On the back, I can kind of tell this one's lighter. I can kind of tell this one's darker. But when you see the packs, you're like, wow, that one is definitely a differently packed card. That one must be from a different place. But I am impressed because these cards do not look the same. You know what? Now that I'm saying that, the more I stare at the one on the right, the darker it looks. The highlights on this one are brighter in his face. Do you see it? Okay, the more I stare at it, the more I see it. Maybe it's just one of those things where if you take a picture, it might be more stark. But yeah, that's interesting. I think there were a couple of others. Let's talk about foils. This one's important, and I should have probably led with this. The foiling does matter, because the foiling here on Steel Blade Shunt is a little bit curled. It is a little bit curved. Whereas the foiling here on Flusterfist is, you know what, it's maybe a tiny bit curled, but for the most part, from what I've been told and from what I've seen, is that the foiling on Japanese cards does not really curl at all. And I guess we can kind of speak to that. I guess it's a little bit, but I mean, it's really not that noticeable. Now, the longer you leave out these Belgium ones, the more they've curled. But this one right there looks pretty solid. So it's interesting. The foiling themselves, I mean, they both look functionally foily. It would be interesting if I pulled like a Flusterfist foil from Belgium. The difference is there, but overall, like, this one does look darker than what I remember, but overall these foils look very comparable in amount of foiling and that sort of thing that we come to expect, particularly here on this print run, right? Very interesting stuff. The differences in these cards are not as stark as, for me, I've seen some people post on the internet. So I'm curious, let me know in a comment below, have you experienced the Japanese print run, and what do you think about the Japanese print run? Is it something that you is like a type of thing that you like? Do you like the way they printed them? And then answer this question, because this to me is the fundamental question. If this is the difference from Belgium to Japan, what will the difference be from both of those regions to the US print run that we'll have for Tales of Aria? Because that is going to be really interesting, really intriguing. I've thought a little bit about that as I was preparing to make this video. I'm curious to see what those cards will look like. What differences, subtle, what packaging, you know, that sort of stuff. What are we going to see from one to the other? I'm curious to know that. I wonder if it's going to be darker, like richer darks, like we see on these cards. I wonder if it's going to be different. I wonder if the packaging will look good. I wonder if the backs will be brighter or darker. I'm very curious. Let me know in a comment below what you think about these two different packs, these different packagings, all that. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you learned something new about the way they package these cards, or the way that these cards could come out looking. If you see a pack like this, Don't panic. It is not like completely tampered with or made up. This is what Japan packaging looks like. Hope you enjoyed it. As always, everybody, thanks for watching.